All right, so let's conclude the Enneagram summary series with type 9. This would be the mediator or the peacemaker or the peacenik. Peace. Energy wise, this would be probably the polar opposite of the fiery type 8. It's still part of the instinctive triad, but this is possibly aggression avoidant and usually introverted. Not quite as much as the 5, but it tends to be on the more introverted line of things. But this is probably powered by the far more mellow Venus energy, whereas 8 was powered by the Mars energy. These 9s would be lovers, not fighters. I'm a lover, not a fighter. That would be number 9. Very Libra as far as astrology goes. These folks can get along with just about anybody. Taurus, too. Taurus, they're usually not really intense people. And they can get along with almost anybody, too. They're a little more stubborn, but they work hard, too. Nines, Libras, maybe not as much. I'm a Libra. I can make this joke. Nines are seldom in a hurry to get anywhere. We'll do it tomorrow, Mom. That's the 9. Now, as far as Myers-Briggs, God, it could really go anywhere. My first instinct is to think like ISFP, ISFJ. Those are, I think this one's a pretty elastic one, but those are some things that kind of come to mind. Most ISFJs I know have some type 9 traits, usually peaceful and, really easy to get along with. And remember, 9s can be good workers too. We just need we're not going to start a company, but we're probably going to be good people to call to keep something rolling. We're good people to have in the room. I'm a Libra, so I can relate to this laid-back energy. I like to avoid conflict. I hate fighting. I don't care for vulgarity a lot. So I've got some of these 9 traits, but I think it's a tertiary type for me. I'm actually strongly a type 5 with a 4 wing. I've done this test numerous times, and it keeps coming out like that. But as a third one down there, type 9 seems to fit a little bit too. I've noticed that it's sometimes easy to mistype 9s and 5s. Both are fairly withdrawn and passive, but maybe a simple way to tell them apart would be, whereas let's say 9s might be casual hobbyists with a lot of things, and at many things. They'll have many interests. 5s will be deeply obsessive about things. So, whereas a 9 might like to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and not get too attached to anything, just kind of stay light and breezy with it, a 9 will develop a full-blown obsession with things. A 5 like me won't move on until I know everything about something. Now, regarding music, maybe this is kind of a comparative 5 and 9 thing. When I was a teenager, if I would buy a cassette of music, this is in the 80s, so we'd buy cassettes, I would sit in my room with a guitar and a little JVC tape deck, and I would figure out every chord, every riff, every solo passage, and the harder to play, the better. If it was hard to play, I would sit there longer and get it and work with it until I got it. In many cases, I would even notate it. I've kept a lot of these pages. To this day, I can still play almost every song on these albums that I did that with. Now, that's 5 behavior. That's really obsessive and detail-oriented. Whereas a 9 might still have that eclectic music collection, but maybe just dabble a bit here and there with those styles, and maybe not get nearly as obsessive with it. 5s also are almost always drawn to really obscured and unusual and rare occult knowledge. This is not usually the case with the 9s. The 9s keep it a little lighter and a little breezier. Like, for instance, I'm a 5. If I get bored, I'm fascinated by really, really dark and horrible things. Like I'll read about serial killers and satanic cults and things like that, where a 9 wouldn't touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole. but I'm fascinated by the dark underbelly of life and society in general. If we were to talk guitar again, maybe in comparison to the last one we did, which was actually type 8, if we were to talk guitar, if 8 was, let's say, the Shredder, the Yngwie Malmsteen, or the Zakk Wylde, type 9 would be its opposite. I would say maybe guitar-wise it might be David Gilmour, or perhaps George Harrison. Beautiful, lyrical, expressive, understated, not in a huge hurry to get anywhere, and yet appealing to a huge, wide variety of people. Everybody have. This is why they're two of the biggest bands of all time, with Pink Floyd and the Beatles. They will almost always play for the song, and it'll be right, and it'll be great. So those are a couple of loose 9 examples. Again, some more videos are going to come where I get more into detail about examples of all these different points. I've been thinking about doing not only music, but also branching into TV shows and movies and things too. So in summation, in music, the 1 will play it perfectly. The 2 will be probably the perfect accompanist. The 3 will be the rock star. The 4 will make you weep. They'll be emotional. The 5 will make you think. The 6 will remember to get paid. That's important. The 7 will be fun. The 8 will kick your ass. And the 9 will help you mellow out at the end of all that. So that's sort of a little summary of the Enneagram points, at least for music. And again, more is coming. If you like this stuff, subscribe. I'll do more of this. And stay tuned, okay?